Okay, let us start this session. This session is continuation of the previous session, that is problems on atomic structure. In this lecture, I will give you a few objective angles questions on this previous topic, that is electromagnetic waves and this energy related objective questions. Few objective. Thereafter, I will start the Bohr's model. Okay, so let us see. The frequency of radiation having wave number 10 meter inverse is. There are four options they are given. The aim of the problem is wave number calculation, frequency calculation using wave number. So what is wave number given in the problem is 10 meter inverse. And the aim of the problem is frequency. Frequency is equal to C into nu bar. Once we know the C value, that is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second, we can substitute both these values, that is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second into frequency wave number they are given in the question, that is 10 meter inverse. So its value will become 3 into 10 to the power of 9 second inverse. That means our fourth option, 3 into 10 to the power of 9 second inverse, is the right option for this question. See the next question. The energy of photon of radiation having wavelength 300 nanometers is. Here they are given the wavelength lambda value is 300 nanometers. Can be converted into meters by multiplying it with 10 power minus 9. So it will become 3 into 10 to the power of minus 7 meters. Moving on to the C value. C value, you know, that is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. And H value will take, that is 6.63 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule second. Okay. Now here we have to find the energy of the photon. What is the energy of the photon formula? E is equals to h nu, that is hc by lambda. Once you substitute these values, that is h value is 6.63 into 3 into 10 to the power of 8 divided by 10 to the power of minus 34 for it, by divided by lambda value, it is 3 into 10 to the power of minus 7. So that upon simplification, 6.63 into this is 34 minus 15, that is 10 to the power of minus 19 joules. So 6.16 10 to the power of minus 19 joules. Our second option is the right option for this calculation. So it is the right answer for this question. This is the formula we have used to find out this energy of photon. Okay, now we will see the next problem. That is the maximum kinetic energy of photoelectrons is found to be 6.63 10 to the power of minus 19 joules. When the metal is irradiated with a radiation of frequency 2 into 10 to the power of 15 hertz, the threshold frequency of the metal is about. As we all know, from the kinetic energy, photoelectric effect concept of kinetic energy formula, h nu is equals to Ke plus W naught. From that, if you write the Ke value, that will become equals to H into nu minus nu naught. And we want only nu naught value. So what is nu minus nu naught? Nu minus nu naught is equals to kinetic energy by H, and its value easily we can calculate. Kinetic energy is 6.63 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joules. divided by the H value is 6.63 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule second. It will become 10 power 15 joules only. 10 power 15 joule get cancelled, second inverse. Now the point is very clear. This can be written as 1 into 10 power 15. We want nu naught. So nu naught will become equals to nu minus this 1 into 10 power 15 second inverse. Nu value given the question is 2 into 10 to the power of 15 minus 1 into 10 to the power of 15 second inverse. So what will happen? The common value is 10 power 15 and 2 minus 1 will become 1. So 1 into 10 power 15. The first option is the right option for this calculation. So in this question we have calculated the threshold frequency of the metal by taking the maximum kinetic energy of photoelectron which is used in the question. Okay. Now we are saying next question, that is the number of photons of light having wavelength lambda is the 100 nanometers given, which can provide 1 joule energy is nearly, yeah, 4 options are there. But the point here is lambda value given is 100 nanometer. This is very clear, 100 nanometers. That you can write it as 10 power minus 7 meters clearly. And energy given is equals to 1 joule. And C value, as you all know, that is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. H value, we know that is 6.626 on 10 to the power of minus 34 joule second, that is value. Now what is the formula for that number of photons? E is equals to NH nu. In this, N is the number of photons formula. What is N value? N will become equals to E by H nu. But we know what is nu? Nu is C by lambda. So then you can write this is E into lambda by H into C. Now what is E value given in the question? 1 joule, and lambda value is 10 power minus 7 meters divided by H value 6.625. 6.625 into 10 to the power of minus 34 into C value 3 into 10 to the power of 8. 3 into 10 to the power of 8. So this is the problem. Simplification. Upon simplification, we will get the answer which is equals to 5 into 10 to the power of 17 photons. Here 6.6 into 3 is 20. So 1 by 20 I am writing as 1 by 2 into 10 power minus 1. 1 by 2 is 0.5. 0.5 into 10 power minus 1. So it can be written as 5 into 10 power minus 2. So remaining thing is nothing but this is 10 power minus 26 will become plus 26. 26 minus 7. 26 minus 7 is how much? 19. So 19 minus 2 is 17. So 5 into 10 to the power of 17. Third option is the right option for this question. So here we have prepared the data information required for doing the calculation. In this we have taken Max Planck energy value to find the photons is E is equal to H nu. That can be converted into N is equal to E into lambda by Hc. Upon substitution we got the answer 5 into the power of 17 is the right answer. Okay, see the next question. That is, the atomic transition gives rise to the radiation of frequency 10 power 4 megahertz. The change in the energy per mole of atoms taking place would be. They have 4 different options are there we have. Point is very clear that here they given new value is 10 power 4 megahertz. 10 power 4 megahertz. Mega means 10 power 6. So it will be 10 power 10 hertz only. Right? Of that, we know the H value. H value is equal to 6.626 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule second. Okay. Coming to the point here, they are asking per mole. Means, what is the change in energy formula? E is equals to H nu. This is per atom. If you multiply this one with Avogadro number, then you will get the answer in energies in joules. So what is H value? That is 6.626 into 10 to the power of minus 34, and frequency value is 10 power 10 second inverse into the Avogadro number value is 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23. Okay. This is joule second, this is second. Finally, it will become joules is the unit for the final answer. As you all know, this multiplication, if you take the complete simplification value 6 into 6, how much? 6 6 are 36. So close to this one, we have 39 is there in the options. So it is nothing but 3.99 joules. Why? Because this is 33. So 10 power minus 1 means 39.9 into 10 power minus 1 is nothing but 3.99. So our right option for the question is second option in this question. Okay. Now let us discuss about Bohr's atomic model. Bohr's atomic model. As you all know, earlier Rutherford model explained about atomic models, and in that, to overcome the objections of that Rutherford model and to explain the hydrogen spectrum, Bohr's model proposed a quantum mechanical model of atom, and this model was based on quantum theory of radiation and classical laws of physics. The most important postulates on which Bohr's model is based on the different postulates. The first one we will discuss, that is, the atom has a nucleus where all the photons, protons and neutrons are present. The size of the nucleus is very small. It is present at the center of the atom. That is one of the most important postulates of these theories. That means that is a postulate which is already been discussed in Rutherford's model. Okay. And that is again revised by Bohr's quantum mechanical model of atom. In this Bohr's quantum mechanical model of atom, we have some advancements are there. That means an atom consists of, you can also call this is an atom consists of a dense nucleus. An atom consists of a dense nucleus situated at the center with the electron revolving around the circular orbits without emitting any energy. See, in a straight away one continuous information, the important postulate was discussed. That is, an atom consists of a dense nucleus situated at the center with the electron revolving around a circular orbit without emitting any energy. This is also one of the most important point we can say. That means we can discuss about the nucleus in the first postulate. That means The atom has a nucleus where all the protons and neutrons are present, and the size of the nucleus is very small. It is present at the center of the atom. Nucleus is present at the center of the atom. So actually it is a dense nucleus which contains protons and neutrons. The next thing is negatively charged electrons are revolving around the nucleus. Negatively charged electrons are revolving round the nucleus. And not only revolving, like this is compared with the planets revolving around the sun also in this theory. And after that, the path of the electron is noticed as circular path, and the force of attraction between the nucleus and electron is said to be equal to the centrifugal force of the moving electron, they are told. That means negatively charged electron revolving around the nucleus, not only revolving, that force of attraction between the nucleus and the electron is equal to the centrifugal force of moving electrons, which was discussed. And after that, in this Bohr's model of atom, electrons not only revolving without emitting or without absorbing any kind of energy, the electrons are said to be revolving in the circular orbits. And at the same time, they noticed electrons are revolving in circular paths called orbits around the nucleus, without emitting or absorbing energy, without emitting or absorbing energy, they are told. That means dense nucleus is there with protons and neutrons, which is present at the center of the atom, is one important postulate. And negatively charged electrons, we all know that they are revolving around the nucleus. Not only revolving, the revolving nature of the electrons is compared with the planet around the sun, how they revolve, that is compared. After that, electrons are revolving in a circular path called orbits and around the nucleus without emitting or absorbing energy. And in such a case, they told that orbits are stationary orbits. Those orbits are named as stationary orbits. Stationary orbits. That is one important postulate which was discussed in Bohr's model of atom. And coming to the point, they told that it is not going to emit or absorb energy. Suppose if the electron jumps from one orbit to another orbit, what will happen, so you can ask. For that, the Bohr's important postulate is telling that the amount of energy which is emitted or absorbed when the electron transfers from one orbit to another orbit, which is equals to h nu. They told which is equals to h nu. That means energy change takes place. Energy change takes place when electronic transition when electronic transition occurs from one energy level to other is given as E is equals to h nu. The change can be given as E is equals to h nu. This is nothing but when the electron transition takes place from lower level to higher level, that energy is said to be absorption of energy. If the electron transition takes place from higher level to lower level, then that energy transition, energy change is called as emission of energy. So, you can say energy that is from high level. If you have taken the two energy levels, that is if E2 is said to be higher level, higher energy level, which is greater than the E1, that is lower energy level, then the change in the energy can be written as E2 minus E1, which is equals to h nu. This we can call it as emission of energy. That is nothing but emission of energy. If the electronic transition takes place from lower level to higher level, that means delta E, if you write E1 minus E2, then that is called as absorption of energy. That is called as absorption of energy. Not only this one, most important postulate in Bohr theory is nothing but the electron revolving around the nucleus is said to possess the angular momentum value, which is equals to the simple integral multiples of h by 2 pi. That means electron possess angular momentum mvr is equals to nh by 2 pi. They are given. So that mvr is nothing but angular momentum, where m is the mass of the electron, v is the velocity, r is the radius of the orbit, and h is the Planck's constant. And this value is nh by 2 pi they are given, where n is told as the principal energy level. Principal energy level or principal quantum number. Principal quantum number. It can be 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, or also you can write K, L, M, N, etc. Okay. So these are the main important postulates of Bohr's atomic model of atom. So once again, I will repeat. Bohr's atomic model is telling about the center, that means nucleus. The atom has a nucleus where all the protons and neutrons are present in that one. So the size of the nucleus they told very small, and this is also called as a dense nucleus present at the center of the atom, and negatively charged electrons revolving around the nucleus. Electrons are revolving in circular paths called orbits around the nucleus without emitting or absorbing energy. That means this they told to give the stability to the atom, and those orbits are named as stationary orbit. That means as long as the electron revolving around the nucleus, it won't lose or gain any kind of energy. So if it happened, that means atom may go to the unstable condition. So in that condition, energy absorption or energy emission may take place. That was given in the formula E is equals to h nu. Then after any kind of revolving particle that will possess angular momentum value equals to mvr is equals to nh by 2 pi. Actually, mvr is equals to h by 2 pi for the first orbit. mvr is equals to 2h by 2 pi for second orbit. It indicates that angular momentum is quantized. That formula which is given directly as mvr is equal to nh by 2 pi and described about n value, described about m value, v value, r value and all in this Bohr's model. Okay. Now, this Bohr's atomic model we have finished in this session with the important postulates. But coming to the point of limitations of Bohr's model and advantages also we will discuss. First we will discuss about the advantages of Bohr's model. Actually, the experimental value of radii and energies of hydrogen atom are good agreement with the calculated on the basis of Bohr's theory. So Bohr's theory successfully explains about the radius and energy of the hydrogen atom, and not only that one, we are calling this Bohr's theory is Bohr's hydrogen theory only, Bohr's hydrogen model only. Why? Because this theory successfully explains about hydrogen atom and the single electron containing species. And Bohr's concept of stationary state of electron explains the emission and absorption spectra of hydrogen like atoms. Earlier, we discussed about the emission and absorption spectra of hydrogen atom, and that is successfully explained by Bohr's theory by the transition of electron from one level to another level. So Bohr's theory is successfully explains the hydrogen spectrum also. Another one, the experimental values of spectral lines of hydrogen spectrum are close agreement with the calculated Bohr's theory. So Bohr's theory calculations are giving the energy values, wavelength values of hydrogen spectrum, which are experimental values are equal to calculated values. So that is given a big success in the science. This is the one of the breakthrough in the science regarding the atomic structure and exploring the atom and its nature. Moving on to the another important thing we can say, if anybody asks what is the limitation of Bohr's theory, that means it does not explain the spectra of atoms ions having more than one electron. That means we told that hydrogen is there, hydrogen like species we have, that is He plus, Li2 plus, etc. are there, Be3 plus, etc. are there, but they are all having only a single electron. So more than one electron is there. What about the spectra of such type of species is a question mark from this theory. So this theory fails to explain such multi-electronic species and their spectral lines. And moving on to another one, Bohr's atomic model failed to explain the two things which are called as Zeeman effect. Zeeman effect and Stark effect. So what are these Zeeman effect and Stark effect means? After the formation of spectral lines, from the theory called as Bohr's hydrogen spectra, each and every spectral line according to that theory is said to be split into different fine lines. That fine line splitting of the spectral line in the presence of magnetic field is called as Zeeman effect, and in the presence of electric field is called as Stark effect. That means if a spectral line is there, the spectral line is splitted. The splitting of spectral line concept unable to explain by Bohr's theory. Okay, so Bohr's theory failed to explain this type of the behavior of spectral lines. Okay, next de Broglie suggested there are some dual behavior of the electrons. That dual behavior of the electron also not successfully explained by Bohr's theory. Okay, so Bohr's theory completely failed in the case of explaining the spectral lines of multi-ionic species, and also failed to explain the splitting of spectral lines in the presence of electric field and magnetic field that are called as Zeeman effect and Stark effect. Then after one more important point to be discussed, that is Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Heisenberg uncertainty concept. What is uncertainty concept? Is nothing but it is highly impossible to determine the position and velocity of momentum of a particle which is moving with high speed. Microparticle like electron is highly impossible on time. That means simultaneous determination of position and momentum of a small moving particle like electron according to Bohr theory is not possible, which is proved by Heisenberg. That's why Heisenberg uncertainty principle is also one of the most important thing in the science which is challenging Bohr's atomic model. So at that time this theory concept is failed. That means there are advantages, there are disadvantages. Both are explained in this session. So hope you understand Bohr's model and the problem discussed in this session. We will definitely have a nice session in the next class. Bohr's hydrogen atom and its numerical derivation part will be there. Until have a nice day. Thank you very much.